we've tiptoed around the entire Lecrae situation. You guys have been friends for a while. Y'all went on tour together. I've known Lecrae for over a decade. Folks were taken aback that someone was willing to push back against some of the stuff that he's kind of been doing. You know what I mean? And I think you did it with respect and dignity and honor and gentleness, you know, in terms of how you approached it with regards to the righteous and ratchet thing. You were on a podcast that, and you actually, that whole sequence I thought was spot on. And you caught some flack for that.
Yeah, I said, to quote, I said, I'm not more pro-black than I am pro-God. Because in the name of being pro-black, sometimes either being pro-black or being a part of hip-hop culture, I've seen room be made for a bunch of activity and behavior that is not of God. And because of that, I never want to be more tied into my ethnicity or my profession than I am tied in and locked in with God.
Amen.
And I was like, even in Christianity, man, I've seen people talking about being righteous and ratchet and all that. And I'm like, man, that just, confuses me when I see our people boasting about this. And I was like, man, and I had the hoodie on at the time. I said, man, I'm real righteous and relevant.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what
I mean, okay, before we get to the second part, the first part, I was shocked that you caught flack. Van Lathan completely misquoted you. What I heard, and I got it right away, because I'm ethnically Armenian. Armenians like to claim that, we're the first Christian nation, and we got a quarter of the old city in Jerusalem and all this kind of stuff. But the moment someone places being Armenian, being from the Soviet Union, those identity markers is the moment you start getting me seeing a lot of my mom's friends died of drunk driving as a kid, abusing alcohol, beating on their women, right? Like, well, this is just how we are. This is how we get down, right? Because of this, because of the mindset. And so, I got what you meant. I thought, that's very spot on, because you're not generalizing. Like, we're not saying all Armenians are this or all black people are this. We're saying when you have an out of order identity markers of who you are, and something comes before being pro-God, you are liable to do foolish stuff. It seemed like people wanted to take that and interchangeably use ratchetness for blackness. And that's so degrading to black culture, because black culture is not synonymous with that.
There you go.
I grew up around amazing black people. The first folks that shared the gospel with me were folks from the Black Baptist tradition. And they were patient with me, and they kept praying for me and speaking hope over me. One day you're going to do things for the Lord, Ruslan. I was like, y'all crazy.
Yeah.
One day, watch.
One day.
Sure enough, right? And so I was so irritated by that first half, because I was frustrated with that first part.
Yeah, I called Van about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Van, we know each other, bro.
Yeah.
And we friends.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're going to quote me,
you got to quote. You got to actually quote you.
Yeah. You misquoted me inside the quotation marks.
Right.
We squared that away.
Okay, good.
Me and Van are all good.
Good.
Van actually tells me how much I inspire him with my faith walk and how much he looks up to me in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that brother, genuine. And I told Van, I said, I love you to the point where, because I know your heart, I won't publicly disagree with you on stuff that I said, bro, you be posting stuff on your page sometimes that I'm like, man, this Negro is tripping.
Yeah, I mean, we all got folks like friends and family that we follow that we just scroll past.
And I also know that, we got multiple hands, so we have the ability to fight multiple fights down here on earth. And if I'm fighting a fight against sin, that doesn't mean that I also can't fight a fight against skin at the same time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we got skin problems and we got sin problems. I see a lot of my brothers and sisters in my community using both hands to fight against skin problems. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Straight racist battles that they fighting against, and they're very passionate about that. So when I come in and say, hey, I'm clearly with y'all, but let's be honest about the fact that these ain't our only problems that we have. And sometimes the perspective that I have towards how we're fighting over here, it causes me to say, let's not have a victim mentality. Let's not have an approach to where we're always just pointing the finger at others. Let's look at what we're actually doing. Let's hold ourselves accountable, and not blame everything on slavery and blame everything on white people, the white man this, the white man that. And when I do that, sometimes I get a lot of support from my community saying, yeah, D, like you're absolutely right. And you are fit to help be a voice for us.
Yeah.
And I get other people that's like, man, we ain't trying to hear that. You know, we ain't trying to hear that, because now that got us looking at ourselves when we really need to direct all the focus on how we have been wronged.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'm not saying we haven't been wronged, but a great analogy is this. If I'm chilling on the block, you heard me, and if somebody come along and they driving in a van and they hit my dog in the street, right? And then they keep driving that van, I got a decision to make. Am I going to run after that van or am I going to run to my dog? And when I say run to my dog, meaning I'm still trying to save my dog if it's possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm running to my dog every time.
Yeah.
And I feel like choosing to run to my dog is equivalent to me running to my people on a daily basis and being like, all the structural, institutional racism that exists, we need to fix that stuff. But on a daily basis, I see a lot of hit dogs in the street. And I'm right there close enough to them to where I don't want to see these youth die on my watch. Because even though they got hit, even though they got abused, you heard me, they still got life. And that's my community. So I choose to say, man, let's look at ourselves on a daily basis, you know?
And so in the process, you say I'm hearing Christians say, be ratchet, be righteous, not knowing that Cray had kind of, I don't want to say it's his like thing, but it's, he's putting it on merch before. Yeah. And it seems like he had some things in the pipeline with this merch drop. If I'm being charitable to him, it seems like that was already in the pipeline. And so he kind of responded to it. You responded to that, which I thought was appropriate. Yeah. And you held him to it. And fill me in, was there another response? There was a conversation that happened. Y'all squashed it.
So he responded to my interview clip that I did that I was just speaking from the heart about stuff I observed years ago.
Not sending subliminals.
Not even knowing it had nothing to do with him
yeah.
at all, bro. If I'd have seen that had something to do with him years ago, I'd have been said something publicly. But he responds publicly and tags me in a video basically defending, being righteous and ratchet and all this stuff. And I'm like, wow. So I didn't just jump and make a video about him after that. I responded in his comments and I asked, would you like to do a phone call for further clarity, man? Because this is dangerous and problematic to have this big of a platform and you're glorifying being righteous and ratchet. And if you have a misunderstanding of what ratchet entails, I would love to talk with you. If you want it to be private, you got my number. If you want it to be public, since you chose to make a public video addressing me, then let's do an Instagram live so we could at least talk more long form. He didn't respond twice when I asked for either a call or an IG live. He didn't respond to either one. That's when I chose to make a video to respond so I could have a longer amount of time to be able to verbally express myself. So I did that. Then he took his first video down after I put that video out there, took his video down, right? After he took his video down, hit me up. We ended up communicating behind the scenes. It's all good, Two brothers, hey, it's cool, He apologized. I said, all good, brother. No love lost.
It sounded like he was foundationally just working with a different definition of ratchet.
At first, it seemed like that.
Yeah.
But after we talked, I was like, okay, he gets it. That it's not what he thought. And he acknowledged that to me, that his definition very well could be off because of him maybe being disconnected from that lifestyle and being out of touch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with him acknowledging and understanding that and seeing my passion behind what all, man, I done seen people die, go to jail in the name of ratchetness. You know what I mean? So with him having this understanding and then 2 days later putting out a merch line that's talking about being righteous and ratchet, after this talk that we just had, and in our talk, he didn't say anything about, hey, in 2 days, I'm about to drop these clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just a heads up,
just a heads, you know what I mean? So when I see that in 2 days, I'm just like, oh man, like it really messed me up. Because now I'm wondering, I'm like, you monetizing this moment, bro. Even if this was something that was about to come out, you know how to read the room. And you know when it's like, maybe don't drop this right now because it's going to come across as a response to the video D1 put out
that close
2 days ago. But you choose to move forward with this. And that's when I knew that it wasn't, listen, bro, let's not give somebody credit for maybe being totally out of touch with what ratchetness means and entails. Like, I just know that, no, like, you're not that disconnected to where in his video. Matter of fact, bro, yeah. So rewind this clip. I don't give credit to hey, maybe there's just two fundamentally different definitions of what ratchet is. No, you know why I don't believe that?
Why is that?
Because
all right, we're gonna head over to the Patreon exclusive segment of this interview. Be sure to meet us over there. Peace.